victory in Class A among the front-running, more powerful cars. Behind him, Frank Sittner was heading the field in the first year of the very competitive 2-litre class. Sittner, the overall 1988 champion, becomes the inaugural 2-litre champion, but now once again he has his eyes on that overall title. 26 points separated Sittner from Gravitt, who once again took pole position for what could be the overall championship decider, round 12 at Thruxton. Gravitt alongside Tim Harvey, and then a second row of the ever-improving Graham Good, Andy Rouse qualifying 4th, Laurence Bristow, Sean Walker, row 3, John Cleland heading the 2 litres alongside Dave Brodie, and Frank Sittner right behind. Murray Walker describes what happened.
For the 8th time in 12 races, Rob Gravitt has put his white Trackstar Ford Sierra on the left into pole position, with Tim Harvey alongside him on the right. Away they go, 20 laps. Andy Rouse sprints through from the second row up into second place behind Rob Gravitt as they go into Allard Corner. Then it's Tim Harvey in third position. Behind him in the black car, it's Graham Good. Now down to the complex, and Sean Walker in the background is challenging. And we're looking back now from Rob Gravitt's car and Andy Rouse. He's pushing Gravitt very hard indeed. He's going for the lead. Andy Rouse failing to get it. Gravitt accelerates away. Rouse is going to attack again as they come up to Noble, the left-hander. So it's Gravitt leading on the right, number 11. Andy Rouse in second position. Now, Rouse can't win the championship, but he can win the race. He's won 3 out of the 11 races so far to Rob Gravitt's 8. But Rob Gravitt doesn't need to win. He can take the overall championship with just second place. Rouse pulling up alongside the white Sierra as they go round the left-hander. Now down to the club chicane. And Rouse looks as though he's going through on the inside. Gravitt is actually moving over to let him through. He does so, down to second place. Andy Rouse leads. Now we're with Jeff Allen in his BMW M3, and he is in trouble coming up to the club chicane. In fact, he's right up onto the curbing, slowing right down. Everybody is streaming past him. Oh, and look at that left rear wheel, a big chunk out of the rim. Allen now, here is a replay. Chasing Godfrey Hall's BMW at 140 miles an hour. Up to him and he's hit him. That was the problem. Jeff Allen hits Godfrey Hall, drifts out wide over the curbing into the pits. So, new left rear, out he goes, and he's got the airline attached to the car. He's putting the wrenches along. That's tremendously dangerous. But fortunately, Jeff Allen realises the problem and stops. And he's lost a lot of time, changing the wheel, then stopping in the pit lane. Rejoins last, and he's got a lot to do. Now, club corner, Andy Rouse leading by just over a second. Then it's Rob Gravitt, 1.6 seconds ahead of this battle. Tim Harvey and Graham Good. Sean Walker is 5th, and Laurence Bristow is in 6th position. Graham Good, there he is in the black car from Leicester, right up with Harvey. And now this is 10-time Scottish champion Ian Forrest, running very wide. Over the curbing, rejoining, lost a lot of places. Built up to racing speed again, but he's lost his momentum. Now, out of Village and on to Brooklands. This is the battle for 3rd position. Behind Andy Rouse and Rob Gravitt, Tim Harvey, Graham Good, ahead of Sean Walker. They're all in Ford Sierra Cosworth turbos. Each of them have got over 550 horsepower. Down to club, and it's Andy Rouse, Rob Gravitt, Tim Harvey and Graham Good. Behind them it's Sean Walker, then it's Laurence Bristow, Dave Brodie, John Cleland in the Vauxhall, 8th position, leading the 2 litres, ahead of Frank Sittner and Kurt Luby. There they are. Onto the chicane, Mark Hales and Nick Whale. He nerves Nick Whale, pushes him right off the course, up onto the curbing. That was a very brutal passing manoeuvre, but it seems to have worked. A very, very unhappy Nick Whale goes on his way again. Oh, into the pits. Here are the 2 litres. On the left is Frank Sittner, on the right is his teammate Kurt Luby. There's a slim chance for Frank Sittner to become the 1990 overall champion. That's Kurt Luby that's chasing us. But Frank Sittner must win the class, and Kurt Luby is harrying him. And it looks as though there aren't any orders in the BMW team. 26-year-old Kurt Luby on the left from Bolton, kart champion, Formula Ford champion. And there is Netton Lindgren and Chris Hodgetts. Chris Hodgetts in the 2-litre Ford Sapphire, nearly losing it. Trying to catch Netton Lindgren. But now Tim Harvey, Graham Good, Laurence Bristow, Dave Brodie goes through, and Sean Walker, number 4. He was up into 4th place. He's obviously got a major problem driving in to retire. So, Harvey, Good, 3rd and 4th, Laurence Bristow 5th, Dave Brodie there in 6th position, and look at John Cleland in the 2-litre Vauxhall, ahead of, together, Sittner and Kurt Luby. BMW's going at it really hard. Now we're with Frank Sittner making some sort of a signal to Kurt Luby. Perhaps it is keep back, Kurt. I can win the championship if only I can get ahead of John Cleland. Round the club chicane. There's that signal again. But it's a signal to go through, and Kurt Luby moves up into 2nd position. Frank Sittner 3rd in the 2-litre class. Netton Lindgren is right behind him. So it's Vauxhall, BMW, BMW, BMW in the 2-litre class. Andy Rouse is still leading overall in the Ford Sierra. Luby ahead. Let's see if he can do anything about John Cleland's Vauxhall. And look at Netton Lindgren there. Sittner, Luby, Netton Lindgren behind them, John Cleland in front of them, and Netton Lindgren is definitely gaining on the 2 BMWs. That is Ian Flux, another BMW M3. Flux has spun off. He's scrambling to find wheel grip now to get back onto the tarmac and into the race. Luby and Sittner still battling for 2nd place in the 2-litre class. Luby's got it at the moment. No, he hasn't, because Frank Sittner goes through and retakes the 2nd place he lost. But John Cleland in the front-wheel drive Vauxhall is still ahead. Netton Lindgren is still in 4th position. In 5th place in the 2-litre class, it's Markus Österreich. That's the German driver in the Vauxhall Cavalier. And look at Kurt Luby in the white BMW. He's weaving about all over the place, and Netton Lindgren has gone through. It looks to me as though Kurt Luby's got a puncture. He slowed right down. So there is Chris Hodgetts, number 51, and into the pits comes Kurt Luby, and sure enough, left rear puncture. And the ProDrive team mechanics leap onto it. Up on the jacks, off goes the old wheel, on goes the new one. Kurt Luby sitting there impassively, waiting to get away, and look at that old tyre. Kurt Luby goes out, 14.1 seconds. He came in 8th, he's gone out 17th. And Dave Brodie is touring. The man who's making a comeback to the British Touring Car Championship was in 6th place, now touring into the pits. Rotten luck for Brodie, and that is Frank Sittner behind him. So that's both the BMW Works cars in. Kurt Luby's been in and gone out. There is Brodie, here is Sittner, and it's another left rear tyre look. Whoops, Chuck Nicholson, number 53, Chuck Nicholson, the ex-Jaguar driver. Having a go at touring car racing, finding his limits the hard way, back into the race. And Frank Sittner's wheel change is almost completed. It is completed. We're with him. He blasts out of the pit lane, leaving Dave Brodie there, down to 16th place. And that's put an end to Frank Sittner's chances of being overall champion in 1990. Dave Brodie rejoins. Tyre damage. Real damage, and it looks like a choice of the wrong compound. John Cleland in the Vauxhall Cavalier, a commanding lead in the 2-litre class. And with Frank Sittner effectively out of the race, that means that Rob Gravitt has almost certainly won the 1990 British Touring Car Championship overall. He's only got to finish. Andy Rouse leads. Rob Gravett well behind him now in second place. Tim Harvey is third. Laurence Bristow is in fourth position. Graham Good is fifth. And John Cleland in sixth place in the 2-litre Vauxhall Cavalier. Andy Rouse into the complex. Fine drive. Looks like his fourth win, but with no disrespect, I suspect Rob Gravett is going to be happy to finish second and give the Ford Sierra Cosworth and himself their first British Touring Car Championship. So Rouse drives on now. We're with Laurence Bristow, fourth position, out of the complex. Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave exit Seagrave, now on his way to Noble, the fast left-hander, chasing the car ahead of him, soon to take him into the apex. No, he's not into the apex. He's off the course. Over the infield to a standstill, and Laurence Bristow out. For what reason, I do not know. Bristow walks away from the car. Not at all happy with it, obviously, and Andy Rouse is calmly now pacing himself in the lead to his fourth victory. 13 laps completed into lap 14. And now we're looking back from Rob Gravett's car at Tim Harvey, number 3, third position, and closing up on the white Sierra of the champion-elect Rob Gravett. There's Harvey. And he's going past on the inside, up into second place. And that in the background, incidentally, is Frank Sittner, rejoined in the BMW M3. We're with Gravett now. Tim Harvey in front, and into the pitch comes Cleland. John Cleland, sixth in the race, leading the 2-litre class. This is incredible. Luby in trouble, Sittner in trouble. Now Cleland in trouble, and that means to say that Netton Lindgren has gone through into the lead of the 2-litre class. And this looks pretty terminal to me. Steam from inside the bonnet, yes. Pushing the Vauxhall away, so Cleland is out. Now, what's the problem?
I thought it was a puncture. As I came into the chicane there was a sudden vibration. Just as I changed down, back on the power, and I thought it was maybe a tyre. It would appear that it's dropped some oil, so looks like that's that.
Well, if he's dropped some oil, that certainly is that for John Cleland, but it's not for Netton Lindgren. Look at this, leading the 2-litre class. Right behind her, in the leaping Ford Sapphire, it's Chris Hodgetts. Just behind him is Marcus Erstreich. But there is the race leader, Andy Rouse, on his way to his fourth victory. Now, his problem in 1990 has been tyres. Not the car, not the driver. And there, Tim Harvey going through in second position. Big gap between him and Andy Rouse now. And Rouse coming up to lap Ian Forrest in the red and white BMW. He's in 8th place, so that shows you how quickly Rouse has been driving. Number 1, first position. Round 12 of the championship. Rouse is 4 times British champion himself, but he's not going to be this year. That's the man who looks as though he's going to be. Rob Gravett, number 11, third in the race, on target for the championship. But now the 2-litre class, first, second and third are together. Lindgren, Hodgetts, Erstreich, BMW, Ford, Vauxhall. Into the last lap but one, lap 19 out of 20, up to Allard at 100 miles an hour and out of it. Now onto the complex, down into second gear for Campbell, the right-hander, 65 miles an hour, and Chris Hodgetts tries for first place. Netton Lindgren shuts the door in his face. Hodgetts loses momentum. Erstreich closes up. Lovely bit of driving by Netton, that was. Perfect tactics. Now, round Noble. 3 cars, there is nearly 900 horsepower there. Out of Goodwood at 125 miles an hour. Then Church. Here it is, that's the corner where there used to be a very nasty bump. That's been mostly ironed out. Onto Brooklands. And still the men, Hodgetts and Erstreich, can do nothing about the gallant Swedish housewife in front of them. But my goodness, they're trying. You'll notice that Netton Lindgren is sitting on the left-hand side of the car. Hodgetts and Österreich on the right into the last lap. Terrific pressure on Netton Lindgren now, up round Allard for the last time. Hodgetts realises, and so does Österreich, that if they are to beat Netton Lindgren, it's this lap. It's got to be this lap. Into and out of the complex for the last time. And Andy Rouse is almost home for that fourth win. Out of the club chicane for the 20th time to see the checkered flag, to take it and to win. And Tim Harvey finishes second in the Blue Sierra, but this is Rob Gravitt. He's going to be third, 8 times a winner, 8 pole positions, 9 fastest laps, 4 record laps, and that is supremacy. But this is the battle for the 2-litre leadership on their last lap, and it's still Netton Lindgren leading, it's still Chris Hodgetts second, it's still Österreich in third position, as on the fastest part of the course, nearly 130 miles an hour. They come out of the right-hander and down to the club chicane for the last time, and Chris Hodgetts is closing, he's trying to take her on the outside, and he spins. Tries too hard. Österreich goes up into second place. Chris Hodgetts rejoins. Well, it was a good try, but it didn't succeed. Netton Lindgren wins the class. Marcus Österreich is second, and Chris Hodgetts comes in third. But what a wonderful drive by the Swedish woman, Netton Lindgren.
Netton Lindgren coming good late in the season, too late to challenge the overall champion Rob Gravitt, who at last gave Ford the success previously denied by the vagaries of the championship scoring. Frank Sittner for BMW, 30 points back in second.